This is the second tutorial video for the flight from KLAX to KEDW, Edwards Air Base. Um, we already went to Flight Planner, set up the flight in the first video, and customized our route, which will take us to runway 22 for an ILS landing, and using the nav radio frequency that we need for the ILS at runway 22 is 110.1, which will tune into our nav radio. I wanted to go back and show what online resources I'm using. This is SkyVector, and also fscharts.com, and I'll go over them real quick again. So here's a chart for Edwards Air Base. There's only 2 runways for the flight simulator listed, and here it shows us our ILS runway. That's what this red cone is showing, where the ILS points towards that we'll be flying into. So 110.1, that's the radio frequency, and a chart listing all that information. And you just go to this website, type that in, hit submit. You'll get a place where you can get different charts and any place you need to go. So here's the Los Angeles and ILS frequencies, any runway you need, and basic chart. You can zoom in and out, and another website has, I think these are the actual charts and stuff these are real charts that you can get. So any airport you need, just go to airports. If you know you need the designation. So, and in the US, everything starts with K for airports. So KEDW, Edwards, K Edwards. And these are terminal area charts. Anywhere you need to go. So here's Los Angeles. I believe I picked out. Oh no! Wow, this is San Francisco. Okay. So more than anything you would ever want to know, right here. Where's San Francisco? Right down here. This big circle, that's around the airport. And there's the airport as I zoom in. And real-time online, here it is. More than anything you'll ever need. I pulled up. There's a chart for Edwards Air Base, and I also wanted to show. Here's the scenery that I'm flying over from Blue Sky Scenery. This is all freeware and available to you. It's right there here, California, and they've got this whole map, which is, and it on my computer's been working really well. So here's where we're starting from, KLAX to Edwards, and I've got all this scenery to fly over. So we'll go back to the flight. So let's go get in the airplane. Okay, we're in the airplane. First thing I'm going to check, I've got parking brakes. And your parking brakes are control period. You hit period to turn them off, like it says. So you never know. You don't want your airplane rolling away from you. They will do that. But we should be here at LAX. Let's look at top down. We'll see a map view. And there's no AI traffic that I see. None. I don't know what the deal is with that. So there I am. Let's pull way out. Here's LA. I'm getting some. I had this working where the new scenery's not quite going to the end for some reason. But okay, I'm here. And going back to the cockpit. Oh, here's a usually 0 on the keyboard pad will put you back into the 2D cockpit. So this is the 2D cockpit, which I use at times. I use both of them. I usually probably stay more inside the virtual cockpit usually, but which I'm going to do right now. Okay, overhead, and I just have the toggle on my joystick to look around. And so here, let's run through the dashboard on the 737. Here's our airplane. Real quick, L for lights, and that just turns everything on. I've been having trouble getting the wing lights to come on inside the cockpit or from the cockpit. So I usually just go ahead and turn L on, and that turns on everything. And for now, here's the landing lights on your 737. I just turned those back off, and I've basically got all the lights I need. So we're gonna need to use our autopilot, which are all this whole board up here. So initial altitude setting, probably 4,000, leaving the runway. This controls our vertical speed, how fast we're going to go up from takeoff. I guess we'll be shooting 1,200, but we'll increase that as soon as we're in the air. And the command button, that is the overall autopilot engage button. It will turn everything on that we need or have selected. So, and each function has its own hold switch. So this is our heading. It has a hold switch, and the altitude has its own hold switch. The approach button we'll be using, lining up on our approach. The VORTAC button tells it to follow our radio program course. So in combination with the GPS. Our nav GPS button, we need it to tell the autopilot which system we're using, if we're going to use GPS input or not, or when we're using the nav setting, the actual values we dial in is what the computer is going to use, what we're reading right here. When we're on GPS, it's not using this heading readout, it's taking the GPS. But it's always using our altitude setting. And we've got a separate computer right here, which we're going to use, and that's the flight management computer, and that is the computer that will control our altitude for us via the flight plan that we load it and select it from the the initialization screen. So there's our initial altitude. I'm going to go ahead and select the altitude hold button. This doesn't do anything until I turn on the autopilot with the master switch. And the initial heading is our runway heading that we take off from. So I already know that it's 70. Yeah. Here's my this is probably the only time the 20 frame rate. It's a little funky. And so I'm going to go ahead and I can turn that on. That's not going to do anything. Here's the arm button. This is going to control our speed, indicated airspeed or Mach. So this is the auto throttle switch, and this one you do not want to turn on right now. If you turn this on, it'll start revving the engines. And this is kind of separate. You have to kind of think of this separate from the autopilot. This autopilot master switch does not control the throttle, the auto throttle. So just keep that in mind. This is a separate function from the autopilot. The pilot has control of the engines, whether you're using this system or just your throttle and your joystick. So, and flight director, which is on or off, this will turned everything off when I did that. This gives us a little bit more information on our gauges. So, and according to it'll output it from the GPS and our flight plan, basically. When we're doing our ILS approach, it'll have some information for us. So we're ready to push back. I'm not using, I'm going to go ahead and use air traffic control just for fun. So we're go to clearance, request IFR clearance. And I'm going to answer the radio. Okay, we've got basic clearance. Shift P is your pushback. That's how I rolled back. Here I'll do it from the spot view. So there's Shift P, and there's actually a truck moving in back. He's not there. So. And we're going to talk to ground control and request taxi, and we'll be ready to taxi to the runway. And I'll be in the next video coming up.